Oh, here she comes.
All right, we've still got folks in the hall, but we're going to go ahead and get started because we've got a great program today. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Brentwood, Tennessee. It's the last time we meet in January, and February is around the corner. Can you believe that? Holy cow. Today we have a wonderful group presenting to us. So we're going to start with Invocation by Tom Carr, and then Linus is going to lead us in the pledge and the four-way test.
Let's keep in our thoughts and prayers this week, Robert, or as I call him, Mr. Fiddler, and Dottie, Bob Belenfant, Bill McCarthy, Harold Morris, who lost his son. Okay, I think this week. All right. Did I miss anybody? Julie Porter. Anybody else? Okay. Would you bow with me? Thank you for every seat that has been filled here today, for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room. We thank you. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, a vision, hints, and daily instructions. We have talents, abilities, and time to work. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning, every project, every season, every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. Bless this meeting today, all those present, as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterward. Ready us to make every moment count. Amen.
Please face the flag and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it for all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
and the fifth? We certainly hope so.
Okay. We are going to start with a great thing right now. We're going to introduce two new members of our club. So if we could have Chief come up, and if we could have Jane come up too. And bring your new members with you. Michelle and Jim, y'all come up too.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I have with me again today, Jim Colvin, and I introduced him last week. For those of y'all that weren't here, Jim will be the new assistant police chief upon my retirement, which is February the 20th. Well, the 25th is my last day, but the 28th is my actual retirement date. So Jim will become the new assistant chief. Our chief, as I told you last week, is in the morning Rotary Club. So today we're inducting Jim into the noon Rotary Club. Let me tell you just a little bit more about Jim. I touched on it last week, but he celebrated his 17-year anniversary with the Brentwood Police Department this past December. So he has been around a little while. Jim has served as a patrol officer, a detective, a patrol sergeant, a patrol lieutenant, the captain over patrol, and now he will be moving to assistant chief. He received his Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice with a minor in psychology from the University of Tennessee at Martin in 2002. He went on to receive a master's degree in emergency management from Jacksonville State University in 2012. Jim, his wife Angie, and their three children, Sarah, Finley, and Cooper, all reside in Nolensville. Welcome.
Jim, you want to say anything? Okay.
There we go. Adjustment for the vertically challenged. So I am happy today to present to you Michelle Lafollette. She's visited our club before, and as I think I also said before, she's genetically predisposed to Rotary. Her mother, Suzanne Buchanan, a lot of you probably know, she was the executive director of the Downtown Club and also was and still is a member. Michelle's father, Mark, is a member of the Downtown Club, and her brother, Alan, is also a member of that club. And Michelle chose to break ranks with the family and come to the Cool Kids Club. So we're happy to have her. She works for Aon, which is a company that does benefits consulting. And she has two little pumpkins, 2 and 4 years old. Davis is 2 and Penelope is 4. And I have not seen them, but I'm going to take a wild guess that they're super, super cute. And so she can prove it. Yeah. So happy to present Michelle Lafollette to the club today.
All right. Jane, do we have any guests and visitors? You're not through yet.
We do have one guest and one visiting Rotarian. So I'm going to start with Suzanne Buchanan, Michelle's mother, and she's joining us from the Downtown Club.
All right. Hey, Suzanne.
Do you want to introduce your guest?
Jordan has
Okay.
James.
Hey, I'm James Davis, and I appreciate you all letting me come and visit here. I just ate before I came. This is so delicious. I had to again. It's good. I was the CEO of an international corporation that my wife and I just sold, and we own several real estate investment companies, and we just never been involved in Rotary. We just moved to the area. Thought it might be a good way of plugging into the community and meet some friendly faces. So thank you for letting me come.
Thank you, James. Appreciate you being here.
Hope you'll join us.
Any other guests?
Any other
Or
guests?
visiting Rotarian? All right. I love this turnout today. I'm so excited about it. I can't tell you. All right. Well, we have a small Rotary minute today because I want you guys to go out and get this done. We have every year a great thing in this district called RILA. And RILA stands for Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, not Academy Awards. So we've got a few pictures of some RILAs in the past, but really what RILA is, it kind of gives you an example on the next slide of what the criteria are and what we're working with in RILA. It's a leadership training program. Now, you don't have to necessarily have been in Interact or Rotaract, but it also deals with kids who were in Rotaract and Interact, but also leaders throughout the entire area. So if you know of a deserving high school student, mainly sophomores and juniors, but if seniors had time, that would be great, to get them involved in leadership, citizenship, and personal growth, and help them find out a little bit more about Rotary. This is a fantastic opportunity. And in the next couple of slides, you can see it's not a thing that you just sit around and listen to stuff. It's active, it's moving. This is last year, the year before, and then the next one is just different Rotary districts throughout. So we would pay $500 per child. And we have enough to pay for 3, but if we can get 4, that's awesome, 5, whatever. And then the district pays the rest. So your dues go to pay for RILA every year. And this will be the first one that's been held live in quite a while. So if you know of a deserving young person who really is an outstanding leader already, but could really enjoy becoming more of a leader, this is a great place for them to go. So let me know if you have this. Sheila's been involved in this. Lennis has been involved in this, and you can catch them if you can't catch me. All right. Happy Bucks, Lori Reed.
I'm happy. I hope y'all are happy too. It's Friday. It's sunny. I'm gonna put in a happy buck. No,
Not taking change. Okay.
So
Old joke, y'all.
I'm also happy that I'm wearing my pin. Raise your hand if you're also wearing your Rotary pin, or Betsy. Jonathan. I
Uh,
had to get those up. That's not politically correct. Who's got money for Happy Bucks? We need to be happy. Happy. Raise your hand. If you have money for Happy, don't let me look like an idiot with nobody putting any money in. Somebody has to change or something, right? Okay.
Larry
Oh,
Kane.
there we go. Sarah.
Ah, okay, good.
Sarah, thank you for saving me. We've got a lot of money last week because it was for a really great cause. This is a good cause too. So.
Yay.
I'm glad to be back and see everyone.
Jeff Hughes or Rod, whichever way. We've got a lot of folks now.
$5 in also. I'll be leaving early today, headed out to a funeral for Mr. Bill Aiken. A lot of you in this room may know Bill Aiken. What a wonderful man. What a wonderful guy. Loved the city, loved our city leaders, loved the Brentwood Police Department. He actually donated $50,000 to our building fund, which we purchased fitness equipment with. And he passed away this past week. And so I'm confident he's in a better place. And I'm happy about that. Hate to lose him, but love Bill Aiken.
Anybody else? Ron? Oh, our guest?
Didn't know about Bill, but those of you that don't know Bill, the thing that I was really impressed with and amazed with is that every commission meeting, he would sit back there with you or one of the other folks from the police department. But he was a big supporter of you guys as well as the city of Brentwood. So sorry to hear that. I was talking to somebody when I first got in here, and they said, "Well, that's worthy of happy." Well, my oldest child turns 44. Now, some of you that may not mean a whole lot, but that makes me feel old. So anyway, my daughter Kelly turns 44 tomorrow. So there you go.
You don't look a day over 45.
Yes. Curry and Larry over on the other side too.
I put big bucks in there. That's all I have. So I'm just happy we're leaving town and taking a trip. It's our first big trip since this plague has been upon us. So I'm very happy to get out of town and go see someplace new and different. California.
Woo.
Here.
I had a message for the club, but Bill Aikens brings back great memories to me. Years ago when I opened First American Bank on Franklin Road, Mr. Aiken used to come in and see me all the time, and we got to be kind of buddies. And he started telling me all the history of Brentwood, and I learned more from that guy. I loved it. He'd come in the door, and if he'd look at me, if I go, he'd come on in my office and sit down. No banking business. We didn't talk banking business. He'd sit down. Did you hear about so-and-so? And no, he'd tell me all about it. So he was a great guy. This dollar is going in because we had 7 people who did not RSVP today, but thankfully we had 6 people who did RSVP who did not show up. So I don't get it. I don't know what you guys are doing, but please RSVP. Thank you.
We had the groundbreaking for our Cadillac dealership in Mount Juliet yesterday, and it's going to be operational about 1 year. And Jeff Hughes is going to be our security team starting in the year.
Anybody else?
I didn't RSVP today, so I just wanted everybody to know that. But Harold Fogelberg gave me his lunch, so it's all legal.
And you only got one lunch?
We good? All right. Patrick, did you want to remind everybody about a very big event we're probably having?
Love making that little intro there. So stay with me to the end because the end is where it gets interesting. But next Saturday is our 17th annual Little Harpeth River Cleanup. We start at the library around 8 o'clock. For those of you who have already signed up, peace be with you. Thanks be to God. Appreciate that. If you have signed up to work registration and kind of the pre-activities, if you could be there somewhere around 7:30, 7:45, that would be great. We are probably going to stay outside again this year. For those of you that have signed up to work a section, also thank you very much. If you haven't signed up, please do so. The section lead roles are very, very important. Those are the ones that always are crazy trying to get people assigned to actually know where to go, where to park, where to leave the trash, all the kind of important things that go along with the cleanup itself. Having said that, and being a weather nerd, the crap app says it's going to be 16 degrees next Saturday morning. So I texted the leader emeritus, Mr. Hebert, who is with his wife Deb in Florida, and got a response from him this morning. Basically that we've had situations like this before, and we did apparently choose to cancel the cleanup due to weather. So this will be an interesting week. As of right now, I'd like to kind of proceed on as though we're going to have it. I always caveat it with people that we will let them know if in the event we do kind of pull the plug, but 16 is a little rough. It's been extremely wet, as you know. Of course, I would love to have it because I'm ready to hand this thing off to the next guy, and then I'll feel guilty not doing it this year and staying on for another year unless I get thrown off. But we'll make that call sometime this week. But I would say there is a chance that we will choose not to have it if it's going to be 16 on Saturday. So anybody wants to fight about that, just see me after and we can go to the parking lot. So any questions? The sign up? Yeah. Well, historically, I've not had to make it since I've been kind of heading this up, but historically we try to do it on Friday so that we can get the word out, at least get something to, I've got emails of everybody who's contacting me because I get these random emails from people. Hey, I'm bringing 8 people. Who are you? That's awesome. And I'll follow up with them. We've had some activity out with the scouts, so I can cover, I think, a lot of the folks. But I would prefer to make that call before Friday afternoon if we could, if we really see that it's gonna, and every time I check the crap app, it seems to get a little bit lower. So anyway, so any other questions or comments? Thank you all for your help. It is a great community event. We had 217 last year. A lot of those were little people who were just parents were wanting to get them off their electronics and get them out to do something out of the house. We may have some of that again this year. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for your help. And we'll keep you posted as we go through the week.
We'll definitely know by the meeting next week, and I will also send out an email as soon as Patrick lets me know one way or the other. But you could sign up more, and that way you'd look really good even if you didn't go because you'd signed up, right? So think about it. Anyway, just say it. That's right. And it does count as a makeup if you actually do it. So that works out okay. Any more announcements before we get started with our program? All right, Kip Dodson, would you introduce our program?
Okay, I'm routinely entertained at how loud this is. At the people we meet in Brentwood. So recently I had the privilege to meet two gentlemen, Jonathan Cilia Faro and Brad Stine. Jonathan Cilia Faro was born in Sicily. He moved here at roughly 13 years ago, moved to Cleveland, Ohio. He then moved to Nashville, Tennessee. He is a world-class opera singer. He has roughly 12 Italian recordings and CDs. He has done crossover projects with Alan Parsons Project, Michael W. Smith, Jelly Roll, and several others. He then introduced himself to Brad Stine. Brad Stine is God's comic. He is notably on Fox and Friends. He is also known for the most media coverage Christian comedian in the country. He has books and comedy features, 6 DVDs, one called Being a Christian Without Being an Idiot. So all that being said, we're going to start with Jonathan Cilia Faro, and then Brad Stine will follow.
Good afternoon. Nice to meet you. I'm Jonathan. From my accent, you can understand I'm from Italy. And I'm very happy to be here. Nashville has been my home for the past 2 years. And I'm very happy to be here sharing with you this wonderful project called the Spirit of America. I came to America because my country wasn't giving me what I wished for. And instead to burn my flag or put down all the monuments, I say, let's move to America. Maybe I have my freedom. And that is the truth. So since 2000, I'm here in the United States, and I'm a professional opera singer. And people think opera is just boring music. How many of you agree about that? But I want to prove it's not like that, because yeah, we are a little bit dramatic as an Italian. We are the most dramatic people in the planet. Behind us, all the Spanish people. But you know, in opera, the story is always someone kills someone get killed, usually because of women. There's not so many women, but we fight for the wrong one all the time. And she fell in love for the wrong man. So this is how opera started. So they told me I need to prove it. I'm an opera singer, but today we don't have a big stage or big music orchestra. So if you don't mind, and remember I'm Italian, I want to share with you the most beautiful American song. And I will ask you to raise, because I'm gonna sing the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripe and bright star through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. I took time. And the rocket's red glare, the bombers in the air, give proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say the star-spangled banner, banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you. So I love America. It's the best country in the world. And when I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, it was because I was living in New York. I was very depressed. It was the first month of the pandemic. I saw people die around me. Most because the infrastructure, they were full up with the whole people, and was a chaos. So me and my wife, we accepted the invitation of this wonderful man called Brad Stine, because for 2 years he'd been asking me, Jonathan, move to Nashville, Tennessee. It's warm, it's humid, it's perfect. And they say, you know what? I think we'll move down. And since then, I've been the most happy man, because my wife is very happy. Because my grandfather told me, you want to be a happy man or you want to be right? I want to be happy. So we moved here, and I'm very happy to share this moment with you and introduce my best friend, Brad Stine.
Thank you. We're best friends, and I can't understand a thing he's saying. Anyways, God bless you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being. It's my first time at the Rotary Club. I've never been here in my entire life, but you seem to be my kind of people. This is Tennessee. I said, this is Tennessee. Let me tell you why I love this. You see, I have made a career out of standing up for some concepts and some ideas that you don't normally see from a comedian. One of those ideas is that I happen to be conservative. Secondly, I happen to be Christian. And lastly, I happen to believe that the United States of America is the greatest nation the world has ever known in history. I stand for it. I don't apologize for it. And for those reasons, when I die, I will be stuffed and mounted and placed in the Smithsonian under the why he never got his own sitcom display. Clearly, Hollywood's not interested in what I have to say. I don't care. I'm not here for that. I'm here to stand for ideas and principles that created us. And so here I am in Tennessee, and I love it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you people believe in the very power, the very foundation that made this nation great. Let me tell you what I love Tennessee. Because you hunt, you fish, and you don't apologize for it. And that's why I love coming here. That's America. I'm sick up to here with the political correct. Don't shoot animals. They might get their feelings hurt. I'm going to wait for you. I won't stand here and listen to you guys be frightened and self-censored. You're going to enjoy yourself because you paid for the freedoms that gives us the freedom to listen, to think, to hear, and to laugh without worrying about cancellation. If you believe in freedom, feel free to laugh. This guy doesn't care. He's all by himself. He's like, I could care less. I've got wings. That's all that matters to me. God bless you, brother. Let me tell you something, what I mean by those ideas of what it meant to be part of the American experience. You see, whoever controls the language of a people controls the people. Whoever tells you what you can think, what you can say, what you can't say, and what you can't think means you no longer are free. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about that. Look around at this group. After the last 2 years, guess what this is considered? A miracle. Somehow people are able to sit next to each other. Free. Without any constraints whatsoever. That's all I'm trying to say to you guys. That's all I'm trying to experience with you guys. Maybe next time a virus shoots through that has a 99.8% survival rate. Maybe we shouldn't shut down Earth. Just throwing it out, just an idea. I'm no Fauci. I'm no Fauci. I'm no professional. We've learned so much during the pandemic, haven't we? For example, we've learned that the professionals aren't. The Fauci thing is, to me, the greatest observation of that. I didn't know that somebody could get paid that much to be wrong that many times and not at least be a weatherman. Matter of fact, that should be our new nomenclature. Maybe we need to never forget what has happened to our freedom of America. Maybe that should be the new product of how we speak, as speaking matters. Maybe from now on, every time somebody comes out and says they're an expert and wants to tell you what you should do, but it doesn't work out, let's say you Fauci things up. From this day forward, Fauciing things up is going to be the nomenclature. Why? Because we can't forget history, because history will repeat itself if we do that. That's why it's important that you look around and see what we have here. This used to be called a great crowd. Now it's called a super spreader. And it is a super spreader unless that spreading is happening while you're rioting and burning down buildings. Then it's called a peaceful protest. And it is a peaceful protest unless you're protesting a presidential election. Then it's an insurrection. And it is an insurrection unless you're protesting for climate change. And it's exercising your First Amendment right. And it is exercising your First Amendment right unless you're exercising that at a school board meeting. Then you are a domestic terrorist. And you are a domestic terrorist. Unless it's done by the FBI, the IRS, or the CIA, then you're just.
I'm offended with this right-wing crash.
Are we tapped into the restroom? Is that what's happening? Not sure where that came from, but it's all right. That's what it looks like. Maybe I'm being actually tracked by the FBI as we speak. Maybe they're speaking to me. Why does it matter? I'll tell you why it matters. Because I want you guys to recall what you are here for. You're here to be part of the American experience. You actually celebrate it every single day by coming here every week and defending capitalism and the ability to have free market. Is that not why there's a Rotary Club? One guy knows why they started the Rotary. I mean, you did start with a prayer. Well done. Thanks for throwing him under the bus, by the way. Thank you. The lawyer knows when to stop, to jump in. Well, this is what I want you guys to understand. We need to remember what it was to be Americans. And the Americans is made up of lots of different types of people. That's very crucial. That's very important. Made up of lots of different people from different parts of the world. But they came here to become part of one experiment, one idea that meant that we're all going to take the best of our culture and to become e pluribus unum, out of many, one. That's the only way it can work. A house divided falls. What is this? Okay, I just saw some guy like Mr. Science over here going, I will watch him at all times. I'm sending this to the FBI as we speak. Well, that's just odd. I've never seen it done like that. Thank you. I'm glad we have a geek here in the crowd. That's great. Everybody needs a nerd. And he's an attorney. What the heck? So apparently my free speech is protected here today. That's good news. Got two lawyers here to protect us. Why do I say that? Because I have been in all 50 states and I've seen the different milieu of the different fabric of what makes America great. Tennessee has its own vibe, its own flavor. I was driving up and down your freeways. Is that what you call them here? Interstates? Okay. That's such a Southern thing. We call them interstates because they're interstates. So I figured out that makes sense. You go to Georgia, that's an outer state. I don't know what they call it down there, but here, it's interstate. All right, brother. What do you do for a living? Book publisher. That's a good job. And has anybody ever told you what you can't publish? No. See, that's nice to be free. Feel good. That's what it's supposed to be like. That's what it's like. Well, I want that to be part of what we continue to do. That's what free speech is. And free booking is putting information into words and putting it out there. That's exactly why I'm here. He knows because he's trying to follow me the best. Poor guy's just like, going, I hate this job. Maybe you guys take turns. I was driving up and down your interstates, and I think I found the biggest waste of taxpayer money in Tennessee. It's your incredibly optimistic but naive investment in speed limit signs. Not working. Clearly, there is no limit to the speed in Tennessee. Why waste the paint? Call it what it is, speed. That's all I saw. It was just a... Then I made a mistake. I'll be honest. I'm a Yankee, not from the South. Made a big blunder without asking permission. Accidentally, I merged into the fast lane. Look at these guys. They're like, is that you? See, this is what I love about Tennessee. This is what I love about you. You have that old-fashioned America values. For example, you go to church, but here's what I love about Tennessee. Not only do you go to church, when you go, you're packing. So how do you not understand? That has got to make your altar calls a lot more effective, doesn't it? Would you like to accept Jesus as your savior? I don't know. Yes, I would. I would like to do that. Should have done it last week, but the FBI was trailing me with the weirdest camera I've ever seen in history. But here's what I found out. I merged into the fast lane. I don't know how fast you have to go on the fast lane in Tennessee, but apparently you have to go faster than the fastest guy that's fastly approaching your butt. You want to get in the fast lane in Tennessee, you better be the fastest guy there. But it's okay because that's what you want to live like. That's your countenance, that's your vibe. There was a guy like right on top of me in his big Tennessee truck. Ah! I'm like, what is going on? Ah! I had two kids in the back on car seats. Apparently this was a teaching moment. Kids, look at the city. It's going like 70 in a 70. You want to know something's happened to America? We used to help each other build barns. Now we've become so narcissistic, we get angry if somebody is obeying the law. Same guy, by the way, that would get mad if he got pulled over for speeding if the cop was hiding. so much. Hey, where were you behind that bush? That's not fair. You're supposed to be out in the open so I can slow down before I pass you. See, that's how we perceive it. I once heard a great man say this. We tend to judge people by what they do. We judge ourselves by our intentions. We always give ourselves more grace than anybody else we give to. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's what makes Tennessee special, because you have these amazing giant cities like Nashville, Knoxville, Memphis. Then you drive a couple minutes and there's nothing here. Just farmland, deep, rich acreage. I think I counted 12 deer crossing signs on the way here, which is ironic because I counted 13 dead deer. So apparently the deer are taking these signs literally. And maybe you could help them out because they keep trying it, doesn't work. They never make it. And you know what it is? It's always the little deer. They're like the baby deer, the mama deer, the fawn, or wait, what's the fawn? That's a girl? What's the girl deer? So doe's a deer, a female deer? That's so easy. Anyways, you know, you never see a 10-point buck on the side of the road. You know why? Because a 10-point buck learns to send his family out first. Hey, babe, it says deer crossing. Give it a shot. All right, let's go a little bit further down. You see, they learned how to move forward, and that's how you get 10 points. See, that's what makes Tennessee different than every place else. And yet, we're part of the same United States. We chose to be united. Didn't have to be. Didn't have to be chosen. Matter of fact, I think there were 10 or 11 states that would not even confirm if they didn't have the chance to secede. Why? Because they were fearful of one thing: power in the federal government. Just throwing it out. See, I believe in freedom, pure freedom, absolute freedom. I believe, in fact, they're a do business, make books, be a lawyer, defend people's honesty, justice. That's what it's supposed to look like. But every state has its own flavor because it has different people that were part of it. I was in Wisconsin in January of last. Driving over a bridge over a lake, and there were 7 tents in the middle. Now, I'm no outdoorsman, but I'm thinking that has got to be the most disappointing camping trip. You know what happened? What I found out? They weren't camping. You know what these people were doing? Yes. How did you know that? They were fishing on a frozen lake. How addicted to fishing do you have to be that you can't wait for the water to get wet? See, I don't fish, but I always assume that God gave us clues to what a good day to fish might be. And I'm thinking, if you're going fishing, but you need a pole and a saw, not a good day to fish. You can make it out to the middle of the lake without a boat. You're either Jesus or it's not a good day to fish. When you cast your worm out and when it lands, it gets a concussion. Not a good day to fish, but it is Wisconsin. The lake is frozen. They are hungry and they are out of cheese. They're going in. Why? Because they figured it out. They figured it out. Why? Because the Swedes were the ones, the Denmark folks, right? The Vikings were the ones that went over there and figured it out. Why? Because they brought it here. What does that mean? What is that called? American ingenuity. We figured it out. Why? Because they're hungry. They wanted to find a way through it. That's what America was built on. Ingenuity. Is it too hot? We'll create air conditioning. Too cold? We'll create central heating. We always led the way because we weren't ashamed. We see anybody creating a shame of this great nation? They still use the freedoms that it gave them, still make money off of what it gave them, and they don't believe it. I think they call that ungrateful. I used to fight for this. Now we have Americans. See, this is where we're going. Every state's different. Every state's unique. And here's what's so great about the founding fathers. They were geniuses. They created the first constitutional republic in human history. Nobody thought it could be done. They had theorized it. We did. But you didn't have to be a genius to start. You didn't have to be able to read. Look at Arizona. No, I mean, they were created by clearly illiterate Calvinists. I mean, look at their state capital. Well, I guess we're going to need a capital. What do you want to call it? Let's call it Phoenix. All right, how do you spell that? Well, P H. Wait, let's get it right now. Fee. O. What am I saying? If you want to spell Phoenix, P-H-O, you can. That's America. It's a misprint, but it's America. Everything's different. And I went to Florida. I love Florida. You know why? They let me do what America was built on. What? Risk. Personal risk and responsibility. Personal risk and responsibility. There was a time when Americans accepted whatever came their way because liberty and freedom was more important to them than life. That was the moment you have nothing worth dying for, I promise you, you'll have nothing left worth living. I think that used to be a principle of Rotary, wasn't it? The idea of liberty, freedom, and risk. Absolutely. I had to talk to the lawyer. He knows how to speak it. The lawyer knew how to properly walk that particular fence. God bless you. Are you a prosecutor or a defense? Business lawyer. No wonder you're here. We could probably have 7 people who are being sued as we speak. But you're here for us. Florida's unique. It's this big old piece of land that's just kind of hanging out there, surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, just attached at the top, kind of like saying, "Why I want to be part of the U.S., but if things go wrong, I want options." See, they're right out there, and they let their alligators run wild. There's a 120-mile stretch of freeway known as Alligator Alley that they let the alligators run wild, and you're allowed to drive up and down there. Don't get flat. AAA ain't a coming. But they give you the option to choose to engage or not. You know what they most protect there in Florida? You know which animals most protected? Is this foreign exchange, Rotary? Is that what it is? God almighty! I have never seen it. I just thought somehow businessmen who are successful, made some money, are prepared with cameras that they can move on their own like professionals. I figured maybe you guys were articulate and could participate in the English exploration, what we used to call dialogue. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe participating has become something taboo to Americans. Maybe we're safer now saying to ourselves and not taking risks. Maybe things are going much worse than I suspected. You see, I'm a comedian, a professional comedian. That's why words are so important to me. They want to cancel comedians now. They want to cancel comedians now. Listen, if the one guy that was allowed to make fun of the king without getting his head cut off, if he's silenced, you guys don't have a show. Our job in society is to mock, ridicule, find humor in the concept of what was happening culturally, so we can find a way for us all to connect. And the ludicrousness that oftentimes affects people when they're not watching. Here's what I found out. I was in Georgia, driving up and down this road, and I heard a radio that came on with a news story. Here's what it was. They removed the sign from the roads in Georgia because somebody complained that it was sexist. I know what you're thinking. What freeway sign could possibly be construed as sexist? And you guys believe that because you people are normal. But they actually removed the sign from the Georgia freeways because somebody complained in the second. You know what the sign was? Men at work. And by the way, let's just cut to the chase. The sign, men at work, was never accurate. Let's start there. But anyways, had it said some men at work, that might have pulled it in. But no. It just said men at work. So here's the presupposition that somebody had to complain about. What if there was a woman that wanted to shovel hot asphalt into the potholes in the freeways in Georgia in July? Her dreams have been dashed. By the way, if there's a woman that wants to shovel hot asphalt to the potholes in Georgia on the freeways in July, you're a better man than me. Go empower yourself. Why do I bring it up? Because it's a true story. Someone removed men at work, even though men was a derivative of mankind, which was always a gender neutral term. Why does it matter? Because if I can start telling you what signs can go up, what can't, what you can say, what you can't, that means I'm actually connected to your thoughts, your autonomy, your free agency. And if I can control that, brother, you're a slave. We don't stand up for freedom in this nation. I joke. Not up for grabs. Not rhetoric. I don't know if there's ever been a time in my life that there has been such an existential threat to liberty. I lived through Cold War. Russia's going to shoot bombs at it. Yeah, I'm an older guy. JFK was alive when I was. Something at stake today. I'm like I believe it. Whereas everybody from every point of view say, you know what, I don't agree with you. I don't believe in your point of view. I don't believe in your religion. I don't believe in your politics, but we're Americans. Have to stand. Listen, I realize that maybe the Rotary Club is something used to having this kind of style of communication. Yes. But this is to me what it was all about when I asked about what is this club? Well, it's all the local businesses that get together, even politicians and even police chiefs or fire chiefs. And they're all coming together to say, who are we? How can we help each other? How can we defend each other? And yeah, there's different political stripes. Different religions are non-religious. Yeah, so here. Good. America. Somewhere we went to the South, folks. We decided that to disagree means that we hate. That isn't true. To not do and think like me means that you're a fool. That isn't true. To not do exactly what you're told, even if you think that perhaps there's another way to see it, means that you're not a good citizen. Not only is it true, it's a lie. So I go throughout this nation. We laugh and we think, but in the end, I want us to be remembered. There was a time when you didn't have to ask for one, the people would agree with at least one. All of its fault. This is the greatest nation. More altruism, more freedom given, the most unique group of humans from all over the world. That's what kills me. Well, you're a racist country, are we? Then why do we have more unique types of humans in this nation than any other nation on earth? How do you know if your nation is greater? Do people want in or do they want out? Nobody's digging holes trying to sneak into North Korea, but I'm not. Did we have slaves? Yeah. Everybody did in 1770. Did they create a document that stated this has to end? Yeah. You know, more Africans that migrated to this nation than were ever born as slaves. Why did they do that? This was a racist nation. You know that we've given more philanthropy than anybody else in the world. You know, we've helped more nations be free, sovereign than any other nation. You know that? I think you do. You show me the nation that's never done something immoral to another human. Ever a move. Show me a nation that's never done something wrong. Tell me. Show me where it is. Show me a nation that's never made a mistake. I promise I'll do that. This is the nation that never stopped trying to get better every mistake that it makes. I have to stand here alone and speak these things. I don't care. I'm going to leave a legacy to my kids and grandkids. This nation's been fighting. And I'm not apologizing.
All right. Bye, Brad. Bye, Jonathan. I was going to ask them to come up and sign a book, but they are headed out. It's 1 o'clock and we're leaving, right? That's okay, Kim. We'll catch it. Good catch. They took off already? Well, if they come back, we'll give them a book. Maybe. Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, God bless America. And God bless the First Amendment. That's all I've got to say. We're good. Remember that you need to talk to Larry about meals every week and make sure that that you sign up guests that come. I was so glad to see so many people here today. It's awesome. And Patrick, we'll pray for a heat wave, but I don't think we're going to see that, but we'll let you guys know as soon as we know what we're going to do about the Little Harpeth cleanup this year. Also, if we could start at 12, in other words, get here a little bit earlier, then we can have a program that'll end right at 1 or maybe even right before 1, which would be awesome. So is there anything else for the good of Rotary? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Were you going to tell him? Can you hear? Since you've got the mic now. Y'all listen to this.
Sorry, I just thought of it. 2 things with the inclusive playground. If you didn't see the Tennessee, and this is a fantastic article about the Peck family. But last week, thanks to the generosity in this room, and then some other Rotary people that aren't in Rotary but just heard about Corey and how sick Hank was, we raised $525. And so we were able to give them $200 of meal cards, a $50 Target card because she could order some things she needed. And then the Friends shop at Vanderbilt, all the money goes back to Friends if you spend it there. They did, and everything they have is approved to be in the ICU. And so they got gifts and all kinds of things. And I mean, the family was floored. So anyways, so God bless all of you. Appreciate you so much.
And Hank is on his home oxygen regime, but he's still in the hospital trying to fix his kidneys.
Yeah, he's still on dialysis and he is having some heart issues. So just, those are two things that just.
So keep the family in your prayers, but when we gave him his stuffed lion, it kind of represented his courage. So he's hanging on to that and he's remembering us. So thank you very much for all you've done for that. So our slide for the end of the program here. Everybody, it's January and you want to get your resolutions done. And so you have to have motivation, right? So here we go. All right, people often say motivation doesn't I love Zig Ziglar. Well, neither does bathing, because that's why we recommend it daily. So as you go through the rest of the week, remember that and take your bath as well as get motivated. Please put the chairs up against the wall, tables in, and we will see you next week. We're adjourned.